Audio Jungle.
Portland vendor charged with murder of man found tied up in truck. The police have charged a 39-year-old Portland man for the death of a man who was found severely injured and tied up in a truck parked along a roadway. He is Kesrick Leslie, otherwise called Juba, of Cottage Lane in Summertown, Port Antonio. His court date is being finalized. Dead is 53-year-old Hubert Hemmings, otherwise called Sanchez, of Hope Bay, Portland. Reports from the Port Antonio Police are that about 6:45 a.m. on Thursday, November 21, lawmen were alerted by residents that a man was seen tied up and appeared to be badly injured. Upon the arrival of the lawmen, they observed Hemmings tied to a parked truck. He was assisted to hospital where he died while undergoing treatment. Further investigations by the lawmen led to Leslie being arrested. He later gave a caution statement to the police, which resulted in him being charged. Enforced death penalty for child killers. With dental assistant Coyote Shattet days away from learning of the penalty she will be given for luring 8-year-old Daniel Rowe from her school in June last year and murdering her, psychiatrist Dr. Longmore says it is time for Jamaica to contemplate enforcing its death penalty laws, particularly for child killers, irrespective of age or gender. The pitch that I'm making, if any, is that we need to have a fundamental recognition of the need to protect our children. I think that we need to recognize as a society that they are the most vulnerable, and the least we can do is send a message to that protection of our children. So, if a child is murdered in a premeditated way, especially in a heinous act, I think irrespective of gender, color, class, whatever, that individual should face the death penalty, even if the perpetrators themselves are a child, Longmore told reporters on Wednesday. Longmore, in making it clear that she was speaking as an individual and not a government senator, said, if an 8-year-old, 9-year-old, or 10-year-old in some way commits a crime, they will not get the same punishment as a 15-year-old or a 16-year-old or an adult. But I think we need to send the message with what is happening with our children and the level of inhumanity that we are seeing, especially in a case like this where the child was taken from school. Under Jamaica's Offense Against the Persons Act, the punishment for capital murder is the death penalty. There is, however, one exemption, as the Act specifically exempts from the death penalty female offenders who are convicted of offenses punishable with death, but who are found by a jury to be pregnant. Where a woman convicted of an offense punishable with death is found to be pregnant, the sentence passed on her is set as imprisonment with or without hard labor for life. The last person to be executed in Jamaica was Nathan Foster, who was convicted of murder and hung in 1988. The Crown, in prosecuting Sachet, did not speak the death penalty against her. Jamaica is more or less hamstrung by the precedent set by the ruling of the United Kingdom-based Privy Council in case of Tringham, the Queen 2009, where it was held that the death penalty should be imposed only in case which, on the facts of the offence, or the most extreme and exceptional, the worst of the worst, or the wearest of the wear. Coyote, by her own admission, snatched Rowe from the Brayton Primary and Infant School in Portmore, St. Catherine on June 8, 2023, and took her to a location in St. Andrew, where she fed her a meal before slashing her throat. The mortally wounded child was found by a member of the Jamaica Defense Force on Roosevelt Avenue in St. Andrew. She succumbed to her injuries in hospital 2 days later on June 10. In September this year, Heidi pleaded guilty to the acts which caused widespread humor and outrage. Her attorney Rogers is making a plea of leniency for the confessed killer on Monday before Supreme Court Justice Caroline Ty Powell in the Home Circuit Division of the Supreme Court in downtown Kingston said his client's actions were a desperate cry for help. The attorney, while emphasizing that there was no justifiable reason for the murder of anyone, especially a child, said the act was triggered when Kildit, who is a stormy and unfortunate relationship with Daniel's father, was informed by him via a social media message which simply say, if you know we're good for you, you go test yourself for HIV. Rogers said Kildit was disturbed by the callous way in which that disclosure was made, amplified by the fact that she was pregnant. He said his client, because of the situation, had to contend with an abortion second trimester pregnancy. The attorney said his client, having undergone all of this was of the view that it was a child for a child. Wednesday, Longmore, in brushing aside the attorney's indications that doctors and psychiatrists were unable to confirm that Cody suffered what is called an adjustment disorder, said the woman should not even be given mental health care behind bars. Adjustment disorder is an acute reaction. It does not cause you to lose touch with reality. Yes, you might have some anxiety or depression. That is not an excuse for what she did. Mental health care for what? You imagine this child's mother, her classmates, her siblings. This woman should not see the light of day again, Longmore stated. She is also contending that other factors outside of being treated by her partner, Floel Coyote. I don't think this is just about HIV. There is more to that. The man that we are dealing with, remember the level of search that was happening for Danielle. That was a huge search, and she had the child, knew all that, and she still proceeded to do what she did. There is another angle to this. There is no court when it comes to a broken heart, and it is the sense of injustice when we get emotionally involved with someone, and there is something from betrayal, Longmore stated. When people are involved in these emotionally charged situations, when you have your heart invested and it gets betrayed or is broken, people can be very, very angry because there is no justice there. Everywhere else where somebody wrongs you, you might be able to get justice, but in that, there is none, and that is probably what triggered this, she added. Stated Longmore, persons may say I'm approaching from an emotional standpoint with my position and that she should get the death penalty. Yes, I am a government senator, a psychiatrist, a mother, but as any citizen of this country who has a collective responsibility for protecting our children, I think we need to send the message. It is not about being emotional. It is about being a citizen. Forget senator, forget psychiatrist, forget mother. As a citizen, ensuring and enabling as best as possible, we collectively protect our children and reflect that as our standard, Longmore said further. Prime Minister Holness expected to issue directives relating to repair work for potholes. Prime Minister Andrew Holness is expected to issue by today directives relating to repair works for potholes on the nation's roadway. Speaking at an event in Olympic Way, St. Andrew, Mr. Holness noted that some work have already started, had to be put on hold due to continuous rainfall in recent weeks. He said the rainfall is not an excuse, just a situation that citizens should bear in mind. The comments, while not made in specific reference, come in the wake of public outcry about potholes on roadways following recent fatal accidents. It is reported in at least one instance, a driver attempted to avoid a pothole caused a fatal crash.
Generally for the constituency, you would have seen that we have started the repair of Olympic Way. And I know there have been many complaints about the condition of Olympic Way, as many other roads in Jamaica. And I can understand when you drive on the road and you hit a tire in one of the potholes, all you're concerned about is to get that pothole fixed. And I'm totally understanding, sympathetic, and indeed that is the intention. The challenge, however, is that we could fix that pothole today, and there comes an unexpected shower of rain, and it's gone, and then we have to fix it again. So we have been watching the weather very carefully, trying to see when we will have an opening to mobilize to fix some of the roads. As you can see, we have started. But those of you who would observe, you would notice that they started and then they have to stop. Hopefully, they are still going now. They are working now. But if it begins to rain, they will have to stop. Again, I'm not asking for, patience or not complaining. I understand. But we need to be mindful of the period in which we are. It's a different period. I can't recall when we have had so many days of rain, starting from Hurricane Beryl right up till now. It's almost, there's no break. It is not an excuse by no means, but it is something that we need to be mindful of. So I have given certain directives, which I will explain further tomorrow, which hopefully we could see full mobilization towards repairing some of these very treacherous potholes that are emerging.
Reverse income tax credit payments delayed. Tax Administration Jamaica, TAJ, is advising that persons awaiting receipt of their $20,000 reverse income tax may experience delays in getting the funds in their bank accounts. It says it is currently in dialogue with the Accountant General's Department to rectify the issue, in addition to contacting the affected individuals to inform them of the delay. DAJ says it has been advised that the issue should be resolved within the next 3 business days. Applicants may submit their queries at the tax mark at 829-2225. Eligible individuals who have not yet submitted their applications are reminded that the deadline has been extended to December 13. Remember to subscribe, like, share, and click the notification bell for daily updates.